In today's video, I'm going to test out some popular luxury foundations and their dupes that I've heard about on YouTube. I'm going to see if these products are really dupes for the original. Hey everyone, this is Lisa. Welcome to my YouTube channel, Lisa Monique Beauty, where we cover all things beauty and lifestyle for the over 50 woman. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, the first battle is La Mer versus the L'Oreal 24-Hour Infallible Pro Glow Foundation. So I didn't have the best shade match, but I am using the La Mer shade 340 in Suede and the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Glow in shade 208. I did look at the shade 209. It was a little bit darker, and I just thought the 208 was a slightly better shade match. Okay, my first impression is the La Mer has a nicer finish. So to me, this almost is luminous, and this is very matte. The feeling is similar, but the Infallible has just a little bit more tackiness, but they both feel really nice on the face. I feel like the Pro Glow has a little bit more coverage, but the La Mer is just so soft looking. It really is more of a velvety finish. This has more of a I have foundation on finish. Okay, so do I think the Infallible is a dupe for La Mer? Maybe in the way it feels on the skin, but it's still not quite the same. It is beautiful. This is one of my favorite foundations, don't get me wrong. I just don't feel like it is a dupe for La Mer. Okay, the next matchup is with some matte foundations, which typically I don't wear a lot of mattes, but I know a lot of my viewers have combination to oily skin down through the T-zone and everything, and I hear both of these are great with combination to oily skin, but also are supposed to wear well on normal to dry skin. So this is the Makeup Forever Matte Velvet Skin and the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Matte. These are both new to me foundations. Okay, this is the Makeup Forever and this is the L'Oreal. So Makeup Forever is looking a little light. It's thick. It looked thin, but it's a thicker formulation. And the L'Oreal is definitely a lot thinner and lighter and yellower. Okay, we'll start with the Makeup Forever. So this looks just a tad bit light for me now. I did use the foundation finder, but you know, a lot of the foundations that I plugged in were my perfect shades within the last month. And so I am a little bit darker. Wow, this is really pretty though. Very lightweight. It's not super matte looking. I was expecting it to be flatter, drier looking, but right now it looks really nice. Okay, let's try the L'Oreal Infallible. These both look really good on my skin. And they feel identical too. Okay, I really like these matte. They're not flat matte like the NARS Soft Matte is very mattifying, and these still allow my skin to go through. I mean, these are really a pretty matte. I'm going to go on with a second coat and see what happens, just because this is a first impression. So it definitely got thicker with the second coat. It is very buildable. I mean, that, is going up to pretty full coverage. I'm going to just blot off some extra because that is a little bit heavy. Okay, so this is really good if you are looking for that full coverage. Now I will go with the infallible and see what happens. Okay, with the second coat, I feel like you can start seeing a little bit of difference between these two. The Makeup Forever is more buildable. I think that second coat gave it almost a full coverage, and I still think this is a little more medium coverage, medium to full, but not quite as heavy. The Makeup Forever is also more matte with that second coat, but again, it's still not drying yet. But just with the two coats, once again, I have to give it a little bit more to the high end. Okay, the next comparison, I actually had to repurchase it, and it's the Estee Lauder Futurist Hydra Rescue Moisturizing Makeup Broad Spectrum 45, and I'm putting it up against the L'Oreal Age Perfect. Now, I know I don't have a good match in the Age Perfect. I have a light one in sand and a darker shade in almond, but I know I can mix these two to get a good shade for me. They have the right undertone, and this is my regular double wear summer shade, the 4N2 Spiced Sand. I will say the Futurist and the sand color look pretty similar on my arm. Okay, so the Futurist, you can see, is a lot thinner, but it does look close to the sand, and then there is the almond color. Just like my first impression 2 years ago. Was it 2 years ago? Yeah, I think it was 2 years ago when this foundation came out. It is beautiful. We'll have to see what happens with oxidation, but it is a beautiful, it's got a nice medium coverage. All right, let's try a little bit of sand with just a skosh of the almond mixed in. So both of these are dewier type foundations because they both have a lot of sunscreens. It just is a little bit too dewy feeling for me. I feel like if you have oily skin or combination skin, it might get too dewy for you, especially right in the T-zone area. Okay, once again, first impression, first glance, they both look really, really nice. Okay, our next battle is between Lancome Tint Idol Ultra Wear and Maybelline Superstay Activewear. So let's see how they pair up. So this is a Lancome and this is Superstay. You can see a lot of my high-end foundations have more of a neutral base. That's the one thing I think when you get to the high-end foundations, they actually do have better shade range and undertone ranges. And I know the drugstores are trying to add more, but still a lot of the drugstores just go pretty yellow, I think. Yeah, so my summer shade in Lancome is 410, and I own the liquid foundation and the concealer, the stick foundation, in both the 360, was it 360 Bisque Neutral and the 410, but I guess when I was packing, I only packed the lighter one. Really pretty coverage. I already know I love this coverage. It's a little more moussey. They're both just a little bit too light for me now. I feel like with just one coat, the Maybelline has more coverage, but the Tint Idol is more luminous looking. They both feel very similar. Yeah, I feel like the Maybelline is just a little bit heavier foundation. Okay, I don't really think these have the same finish. I feel like the Maybelline is almost a little more matte, and this one is more of a natural finish. What do you think? It's a Maybelline. And this is the Tint Idol. Okay, and my final face-off my final foundation face-off is between the KVD Good Apple Skin Perfecting Foundation Balm and the Milani Cream to Powder Foundation. So, okay, these are going to be a little different because one says it's cream to powder and the other is just a cream. So right then and there it tells me the finish is probably going to be different, but let's check it out. I'm going to use different brushes. I'm using some round brushes because it is a cream product. And I'm just going to tap it in lightly. Now, a lot of the previous foundations were too light. I know these are darker shades. This is more of my end of the summer shades. So these will probably be dark. I mean, I barely used any product. And look at that coverage. I think this is easily a medium to full coverage foundation. All right, now the Milani. Same thing, I just tapped the brush on. Definitely not getting as much product. I'm going to use the little sponge applicator that comes with it. Okay, that gave me more coverage. Still, except for maybe the shade, I don't really feel like these are comparable products. So I'm not sure why someone said they were a dupe for each other. Though they both feel pretty similar, even though one's a cream to powder and the other's just a cream. Okay. They do have a similar feel. This apple balm is beautiful. I mean, I feel like it has just a smoothing, blurring look to it. I mean, I put such a little bit on and it kind of gave that even look like a heavier liquid full cover foundation, but it's so light. Now this, I still just feel like it almost just tinted my face. I don't really feel like it got all that coverage. I'm going to go outside, and then I'm going to come back in and put the apple balm on top of it, and let's see what happens. Okay, so I'm just going to put, this is the Milani, this is the Apple Balm. I just want to put just a little bit of Apple Balm on this side, see what happens. So again, you just take a little bit. Okay, so I just wanted to come back and give my dupes conclusion. And what I've concluded is it's really hard to find an exact dupe because there are a lot of different considerations. There's how it just looks from a distance. Would somebody else be able to tell that you had La Mer on or L'Oreal Infallible? Probably not. But are they exact dupes because of how they feel on your skin, how they sit on your skin? If you're actually up close analyzing somebody's face like you do to your own face, then you start to see the subtle differences. So even though some of these are not, I don't consider them dupes, they're pretty close. No one else would be able to tell necessarily what product you're wearing. But like today when I decided what foundation am I going to wear to do my conclusion video, I picked the La Mer because I knew it was going to just be soft and glowing and luminous. And so this is the one I picked. But let's talk about them. The La Mer and the L'Oreal Infallible, very close from a distance, very close in bright natural light. There's more of a difference when you're inside, but they are very similar. But the La Mer is a little bit not moussier, but like velvety when you put it on, and the luminous glow does last for hours and hours. I feel like the L'Oreal glow is not quite as long lasting, or it's not quite as glowy even. So I don't feel they're dupes, but I do feel if you refuse to pay $135 for a foundation or just can't afford to buy $135 for foundation, that this would be a very nice medium coverage foundation to use instead, and you'll never miss the La Mer. If you do like to use luxury products, if you do note the difference when you're wearing a designer blue jean and a middle of the road or an inexpensive pair of blue jeans, then you might prefer the La Mer. But they're not quite dupes, but they're very, very close. Second one was the L'Oreal Infallible versus, whoops, let's see, this way. The L'Oreal Infallible versus the Makeup Forever Matte Velvet. Again, not quite dupes. When I put them on just a sheer thin coat, they were very close. But the minute I tried to build it up to actually have more full coverage, the Makeup Forever was a clear winner. It definitely had a little bit more coverage. It definitely was a little more matte. But again, for just day to day, if you put them on and went to somebody and said, which foundation am I wearing? They're probably not going to be able to tell you the difference. So very close, but still not quite a dupe. The foundations that I found the closest that I found felt the same on my skin, and I think it's because it's such high sunscreen, is the Estee Lauder Futurist versus the L'Oreal Age Perfect. And I don't have super dry skin. I think these would work better for drier skin because they do have that tacky feeling on the skin. So that's not my favorite type of foundation. So I might not have judged them as close because I don't have as much experience wearing this type of foundation. But I did find that they were the closest. When I put them on, I could not visibly see a difference. I could not visibly feel a difference. So they are definitely what I would consider a dupe. And then I had the Lancome and the Maybelline. I don't think these are a dupe at all. They're both supposed to be matte foundations. The Maybelline had more coverage. The Lancome Tint Idol Ultra Wear seemed more more of a natural finish, not a matte finish, even though they call it a matte finish. And the Maybelline was definitely a matte finish. So these weren't even close as far as finish, in my opinion. And then these two are not even close either. So maybe in that they both are a similar shade. I had a really good shade match with these two. But the Apple Balm, oh my gosh, you just put on, I mean, just a tap, barely anything, and it just glided over your face and gave this amazing, beautiful blurring coverage. It was so pretty. I know why it was viral and sold out, whereas a lot of viral products, I think, are not really necessarily that great. People are just buying them to try them, but this is really that great. But you do need to set it because it is a cream foundation. Now the Milani is the cream to powder, so it did set down a little bit better on its own, but it's not as much coverage. And even though I could get the color the same, yeah, the coverage just wasn't the same. They both felt like a cream foundation on the face after application, but these I don't think are dupes either. They're pretty close though. No, they're not even close. The Apple Balm was a clear winner. I mean, I just wanted to put it on both sides of my face afterwards because it was so beautiful. I definitely want to get a lighter shade so I can wear it more often day to day. So that's it. Those are my 5 dupes. I think only one is a true dupe. I think 2 are exceptionally close dupes, and then I think 2 are just really different formulations. So let me know what you think about down in the comments below. Let me know if you have your favorite luxury foundation and a dupe for it, and maybe I will check it out in a future video. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you next time.